Greetings, my lovely, fabulous AP Art humans. I'm staring at the screen right this second and I realize there's a typo. I borrowed this PP PowerPoint from someone else and it says field T notes. Oops. Oh well. So, media experimentation. If you will recall, we've talked about that experimentation is one of the criteria for your AP portfolio. Experimentation is an enormous part of an artist's practice. And so I'd like to talk to you guys just a brief second about that and how we're going to document that process. And then I'm going to give you a bit of a challenge. So, why do artists experiment? We experiment because otherwise, what are we doing? We're sitting still. We're not moving. We're static and boring. And so artists have to innovate. That's what artists do. We are creators, not just of objects, but of ideas and thoughts and processes. And so I'm going to be asking you to do the same. Some experiments are going to be bonkers, and some experiments are going to make a lot more sense and be less insane. Experiment 1, can I create an artwork throwing spaghetti and pasta sauce at the wall? Absolutely. Experiment number 2, what happens if I take my Copic markers and blend them this way instead of that way? Your experiments can be insane, they can also be less insane, and they're both valid. But I'd like you to push yourself outside of the things that you know and that I know and create something new and interesting. So this slide, I think, says it well. Artists must experiment in order to find their way around themselves, to get out of yourself, right? Artists must experiment because there is no other roadmap, no other way to discover how best to navigate their own practice or what other possibilities might be for creating. So you have to experiment. You have to try new things and see what happens. And that's where the real magic and interesting things happen. Field notes. Artists, successful ones, tend to record their experiments in their sketchbook. And so their field notes are really just a record of their experimentation. So what happens if I take this marker and I wet it with water? What happens if I take this marker and I wet it with alcohol? What happens if I take this marker and I wet it with spaghetti sauce, right? So any experiments that you do, no matter how inconsequential they seem, I want you to please put those in your sketchbook. Make those part of your experimentation record. When I was in graduate school, I was good friends with a lot of scientific researchers. Spoiler alert, I married one of them. But all these researchers keep copious notes. They have a little book and they record every single step of their process because if they want to be able to publish their results, they have to be able to document how they did it, why they did it, when they did it, all the different possible variabilities so that it can be replicated if needed. So really what I'm trying to tell you is sketchbook, 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 sketchbook. Put it all in your sketchbook. All right, so what I'd like you to do first is to make a list of all the things you could use as media. All of them. This says 30. Y'all can do better than that. Just keep going. What can I use for art supplies? I can use spaghetti, hot Cheetos, grass, blueberries. I can use chicken poop. I can use Crayola markers, Copic markers, go on and on and on and on and on and on, right? I can use tea, I can use coffee, I can use bleach, I can use watermelon, everything. What can you possibly use as art supplies? Then you're going to write that list in your sketchbook, right? Because everything goes in your sketchbook. Last, I'd like you to choose 5 to 8. And if you really want to be awesome, pick 8, because nobody wants to be that loser that picks 5, right? Experiments to conduct with the marks, right? So you're going to make some homemade art medium and figure out how to use it. I'll give you a hint. Your spice cabinet at home is a great place to start. Spices are fabulous. But look in your pantry, look in your backyard, look in your makeup cabinet, look in your garage, look at all the different things in your life that can possibly be art supplies. It doesn't have to just be Prismacolor pencils, blah, right? So anyway, so you're going to come up with experiments, and then you're going to enact those experiments. You're going to make something with them. So in your sketchbook, make your list, write your experiments out, and then give me the results. Yo, go back to the scientific method that you learned, right? So first I'm going to have a hypothesis, and then I'm going to have my experiment, and then I'm going to have my results. Do all that, y'all. Like, go through the process, document this. Tell me what's working, tell me what's not working. Give yourself notes. I tried this didn't work, so now I tried this. Make little samples, label those samples so you know how you made that sample. Try it on different paper, not just your sketchbook, right? Try it on all kinds of different paper, and then when it's dry, tape it into your sketchbook, right? How insane can you get? So, this is totally a subjective contest based upon my opinion. But we got a contest, yo. Whoever comes up with the most insane art supply is going to win a prize. I don't know what that prize is going to be, but there's going to be a prize, and I'm going to give you a prize. Okay? So, some rules about your insane supplies, because I've learned my lesson. Your supplies may not cause harm to any person or animal. I had a student one time that decided they wanted to cover their hamster in paint and have their hamster walk across the canvas. You can't do that. Okay. I had a student who went and bought a dead squid from a grocery store and dipped it in paint and threw it on the canvas. I allowed it because the squid was already dead. But I was kind of sad they wasted food. But yo. So, if you have questions, ask me. This is your challenge for the week. How insane, how amazing, how ridiculous can you get? Got it? Good. Bye.